how do you break Batman? And I break his heart.
I'm Mike Avila here at the SYFY WIRE interview studio at San Diego Comic-Con, joined by newly minted Eisner Award-winning writer Tom King. Congratulations on your Eisner win this year.
Thank you. It was...
Best writer, let's be specific. He won for best writer.
Yeah, I was tied for best writer
with Marjorie Liu.
Which is what an honor that is. She beat me for the Hugo, so at least
rightfully so.
I feel like I'm starting.
Rightfully so.
No, it was rightfully so. Yeah, I'm slowly catching up to you, Marjorie. You know, she's way ahead, but.
You have a lot of stuff that you're working on right now, and here you've been discussing your upcoming series, Heroes in Crisis, which is something. I think Passion Project is a bit too trite for it, but it's something that you really feel strongly about, that you've been in the works with for a while. Tell us about it and why it's such an important project for you to do in DC. I
don't know, I feel like calling anything a passion project somewhat implies that anything I worked on wasn't a passion project. Right. But yeah, I mean, I'm super proud of the idea. I feel it's sort of like what I did in Mr. Miracle, this idea of exploring sort of the pain behind these superheroes and using these superheroes as an analogy to talk about sort of the mass anxiety I feel like we're all feeling right now. Wherever you are in the political spectrum, we suddenly live in an anxiety time. It feels sort of like almost like those months after 9/11 when we kind of didn't know what the world was for a little while. To use that idea, and instead of just focusing on one character like it is in Mr. Miracle, do something as good as that and as impactful in that, and focus on the entire DCU, and do something that can have a huge impact on the way the superheroes see themselves and how we see the superheroes, and talk about that anxiety and use the tools of these trades, the things that I love about comics. You know, a murder mystery, superheroes interacting in a way where you see that they're all part of one world, to hit on those themes. Yeah, so.
How do you balance the entertainment and you know, socially relevant themes in stories like this?
I mean, what starts with the artist, right? Like, so on this project, I knew from the beginning it was going to be Clay Mann, who I worked with on Action Comics, and we did the Super Friends arc, the Double Date arc in Batman together. And so, knowing I was working with Clay Mann, who has that sort of Jim Lee bombast to him. I feel like he's a modern, unfortunately Jim Lee's a modern day Jim Lee. But as I'm trying to catch up with Marjorie Liu, I feel like Clay has the potential to catch up with Jim Lee. Like, he has that big bombast. He has that thing that when I was like a 12-year-old kid and I read Jim and I read Rob Liefeld, and I just, like, you read his comics and you feel that urge that, like, man, to be a hero is to kick ass. That feeling, I want to capture that in my comics. Like, I still want to get that idea that when you're a teenage person, you're fighting the bullies. So we start with that art. So that's the feel of the whole thing. And the deeper themes are what's behind it and the emotions that propel it. But always, I mean, comics do come back to that as a deadline medium. That feeling you got when you read X-Men #1 and you just want to go out and you felt you were a superhero and you felt if you pushed on a tree it would come down. If you can get that in the comics, then the rest of the other stuff will flow from it.
The back half of your 100-issue run on Batman that you've talked about, right?
Yes.
No
controversies there.
No controversies there at all. Give us a hint of what we can expect in the back half after the fallout from issue 50.
So for people that don't know, issue 50 made a lot of people upset because a lot of people. I've been building this romance between these two characters for 50 issues. This Catwoman and Batman, and their romance is built on other creators building on it for 80 years, basically, and it didn't happen, and it upset a lot of people, and unfortunately that was my intention, because not to upset them, but my intention was to put you in Batman's head, so that when you read my comics, you feel like you're pulling on that cowl, you feel like you're seeing through his eyes, and so that emotion, that idea, Batman thought he was getting married. You know, Batman believed when he was going on that roof, he was going to finally find happiness, and that was yanked away from him. And the next 50 issues are him finding out two things. Can he recover from that? And as he recovers, when he finds out who yanked it away from him, what's Batman going to do? I mean, this whole thing was about, can Batman be broken? You can't break Batman by hurting him. He's been hurt in every way possible. You can't break Batman by killing a Robin, because that happens to him every Friday. So how do you break Batman?
Poor Robin.
Yeah, poor Robin. How do you break Batman? And Bane looked at it and he's like, how do I break Batman? I break his heart. And so Bane broke Batman's heart. What happens when Batman finds that out? How does he recover from that, and how does he punch Bane hard enough in the face to recover from it?